Cuphead Season 3 was so unexpected. The wait was even shorter than the wait for Season 2, and an actual trailer wasn't even made. Netflix just dropped a clip from an episode and called it a day. I wasn't complaining about getting more Cuphead though. After the amazing highs of Season 2, I was excited to see if Season 3 would be as good. And I don't know how unpopular this opinion is, but honestly, I think this could be the best season yet. I do have some complaints that I'll get into later, but this season has so many amazing qualities that I believe even outdo Season 2 in some regards. First, I'll discuss the major characters in this batch of episodes. Cuphead isn't an annoying twat like he was in a couple episodes last season. He's a lot more like he was in Season 1 and some of the better episodes of Season 2. He still wants to have fun but isn't being an annoying asshole to the people around him like Lost in the Woods. Even in episodes where he's doing questionable things like Cup Staged, it's not the same repetitive, unfunny joke and he's punished in a comedic way. So I think they handled that aspect of his character really well. Some people do take issue with the fact that Cuphead doesn't learn from his mistakes, but I don't really mind it all too much. At the end of the day, this show's main focus is comedy, so if keeping that trait of his character will assist those jokes, it makes sense they wouldn't change him too much. Sure, there are some serious moments, but even then, the show never takes itself too seriously. Like, after Mugman is taken by the devil, they kinda take it seriously at the end of Season 2, but then Season 3 starts and he's sort of just chilling down there. I do understand if some people don't like this, even I kinda wanted to see them handle this a bit differently, but I really enjoy the direction the show takes, especially with the other characters. The devil takes over this season. He's in a majority of the episodes this time and is still absolutely amazing in all his appearances. A Very Devil Christmas in particular is probably one of my favourite episodes. He has a lot of funny moments like him destroying this old lady, and while the premise of him trying to get on the nice list for a choo-choo train is silly, it's not really about the train, he just really wants a present from someone. And the ending where Henchman makes it for him is really wholesome. It's the longest episode of the show, but it doesn't feel like it goes on for too long, at least for me, so I really enjoyed it. Plus we see more of the devil's performer side and his passion for song and dance, which really helps to flesh out his character. He was just great as always this season and still arguably the best character in the show. Miss Chalice also gets a fair bit of focus this season compared to the last, which only helps some of these episodes even more. Her chemistry with Cuphead and Mugman is really fun to see as she fits right in during their shenanigans, and we finally get a backstory for her in Dance with Danger. It isn't the most in-depth backstory. We don't find out how she ended up at the orphanage or how she developed her love for dancing and music, but as it stands, we still get a taste of what day-to-day life is like at the orphanage and exactly how she ends up dying, which shocked the hell out of me when I first saw it. So while I would have preferred her backstory to show more than surface level stuff, it's perfectly average as it is. Chalice is one of the funniest characters in this season and really brings a lot to the episode she's in. While I've been praising the characters so far, I will say it is a bit disappointing that there isn't a single new boss debut this season. Sally's stage play does get a full episode, but she technically debuted last season, so it doesn't really count. If this show doesn't get renewed, we'll never get to see amazing bosses like Jimmy and Cagney Carnation, which would be really unfortunate. This season decided to focus mainly on our core cast, which isn't a bad thing since they're all great here, but it just would have been really cool to see the show's takes on more bosses like Season 1 and 2 did. On the topic of the first two seasons, let's talk about the episodes themselves in more detail. This season's episodes range from mediocre to pretty good. Joyride is probably the weakest one for me, since its only real purpose is to set up the penultimate episode and the finale, and to show Chalice interacting with the duo some more, but it's not bad by any means. Some special mentions for episodes I really enjoyed are A Very Devil Christmas, which I already discussed, Down and Out, which has the best facial expression of the season, King Dice being his usual charismatic self, and some really great singing from him as well.
When you've nothing left to lose, you place your money down. You gotta try and turn your life around.
Special delivery is pretty funny. I love how manipulative and menacing the devil is at the end of Dance with Danger. That whole scene after Chalice dies is just so well done. And I love the finale, which I'll talk more about a bit later. Out of this whole batch of 11 episodes, there isn't one I'd call bad, which is something I can't say about Season 2. I'm of the opinion the comedy this season is a bit of a step down from the last one. Not that it's bad, there are still some funny moments. Mugman implying Cuphead is going to hell, the acknowledgement that Cuphead shouldn't be on the nice list, Mugman's attempt to bargain with Porkran, the list goes on. I didn't laugh as much as Season 2, but this show is still very funny. The music is also really amazing this season. I love Looking Out for Number 1 and Roll the Dice, especially after listening to the full versions. And some of the instrumental themes like the Clip Joint Calamity remix and the theme that plays while the devil chases Cuphead and Mugman, these pieces of music fit Cuphead perfectly and were a pleasure to listen to. The final episode I want to talk about this video is The Devil and Miss Chalice, because I think it's one of the best we've gotten. The scene where the devil shows Miss Chalice what she would look like after death is incredibly horrifying. The song that plays during the dance battle is fantastic. All the leitmotifs from Dance Across the Rainbow to the devil's first song fit really well. The animation pops off this episode. The dance the devil and Chalice do at the beginning is nice, and the 3 uninterrupted minutes of fluid creative dancing during the middle is brilliant, and might be my favourite sequence in the whole show. The character relationships also make this episode. I like Henchman comforting the devil after he loses. I like that the whole season has highlighted their connection. Cuphead, Mugman and Chalice's friendship is also done great here. With Cuphead risking it all for her and feeling remorse after he cost her the win, it all feels so genuine. And how they decided to end the season was really smart. It all comes full circle to the game, so in case the show doesn't get renewed for more episodes, this conclusion serves as a nice reference / tie-in. This is definitely one of my favourite episodes due to the sheer amount of things that it does so right. To end off this video, I want to give my final thoughts on the Cuphead show as a whole, since we might not be getting any more. At the start of this year, I hadn't even played Cuphead. The art style always appealed to me, but I just never got into it. This show is what changed that. Because of this show, I played Cuphead and its DLC, and now it's one of my favourite games of all time. These characters are so entertaining and fun to watch. This show does the bosses and the main characters from the game justice in their appearances. The animation is really fluid and does the old cartoon style well. The music is outstanding, and the comedy, while not always amazing, consistently got laughs out of me and my friends. There are 36 episodes, and I only consider one of them to be truly bad, with some being mediocre and a lot being really good. That's honestly really impressive. I don't know what the future holds for Cuphead, but what I do know is that I will always look back on the game, DLC, and this hilarious show very fondly.